Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Blackbird Podcast. I hope you're all good and well. It's nice and hot today, especially this evening. Yay! Oh, ice cream. Yum yum. Oh, excuse me. I nearly missed coming in. It's been one of those, I was practicing some shoots, some arrows. The first, let's say 20 were okay, but there were 10 were okay. The next 10 were better. So I was thinking, I'm going to start taking photos and document it, and so I can see where I'm starting to fade, the inevitable. And sure as it is Saturday, every hour after that was kind of shit. It's like, fuck. I got one good batch of maybe 10 arrows. They were all like half in the red, half in the yellow. And I was like, that was the best of a bad bunch. But yeah, it was basically about getting volume. So I got the volume and the grouping was good for the most part, so I can't really be too disappointed about it. And I'm trying a whole bunch of new things that I was shown by Olympic Dave, some coaching wisdom from Olympic Dave, and I'm incorporating it. But Jesus, if I forget one thing, I forget another thing, and then you forget nothing, you get it all right, and you get like a whole bunch of good shots off. So that's kind of what keeps you going back. That's what keeps you thinking any minute now, but no. It's one thing or another for the James. So, are you good? So that's what I was doing. I was shooting arrows, and lots of them. Limerick tomorrow. Limerick Field Archery Club are having a club shoot tomorrow, a 3D club shoot tomorrow, which I'm fucking delighted about. If I see another paper goddamn face, I swear to God, they should be just there to be written on. I know they're good practice and all of that. They really tune and focus you up and whatnot, but fucking hell, sometimes you just want to have a good laugh. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that will be the case tomorrow. So this will probably go out after, so I'll have other bits hopefully along the way to see how we get on. But I'm expecting to enjoy it. That's what I'm expecting to see how this practicing, this training I've been doing is going to be kicking in, and hopefully it'll be good. Oh, excuse me now, but I needed that. A nice cold glass of Murphy's, fucking creamy, yummy, yummy, yummy. Everyone goes on about Guinness. Guinness is like, I'm not a fan of Guinness. I've tried it a number of times, but I don't know, there's something about it that it's just not for me. Murphy's is nice and smooth, and it's still got that cream, and look at that, like, that's fucking delish. See that? And I wouldn't be like, big on any of the two, but it's a fun way to get your iron. So big day tomorrow, off to Limerick to have a shoot and hopefully do well, and like I said, enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to rocking on up there bright and early and losing a bunch of arrows. Actually, I'll probably lose more arrows at home in like an hour than what you do all day at a shoot, because you've teams of 4 and you might get to target with your first arrow, second definitely for the most part. So you probably, on a good day at home, you definitely probably double what you do to shoot, which is kind of the point. Working your stamina. It's like when you do the indoors as well, you could be doing blocks of 30 and then you take a break. You take a break and then you do another 30, then you have a break, and so on and so forth. And what do we do in the national indoors? Do we do 4 blocks of 30 or something like that? Maybe 5. It was a lot. So you'd be you'd be a bit not awake starting, and then when you get into your rhythm, you have a good half of the total amount, unless you've been practicing like a demon. And you've got your focus on. It's all about the focus. It's all good. So yeah, the fucking heat, when I was beating down on my face, trying to ignore it. But when it was bad, as in the shots, when they go bad, they go very bad. Because that's a mental thing though. I am mental. Not like the mint. But no, it went well. I was happy with it. We're progressing. You can see the progress. You can feel it. Actually, I should probably video it. Because Dave pointed out I had what he called a creeping arrow? So when you're at full draw, just before you loose your arrow, the arrow tip was going nearly an inch forward from where I'd settle and before I release. It's crawled, so it fucks up your gap, it fucks up everything. So I'm trying to address that, be aware of that when I'm shooting the bow. So that's that. And then I saw some a bunch of fucking trailers for this new Superman movie. Now, you might know I'm a bit of a fan of the man, Superman, the whole story, the idea. Superman and Batman. They're kind of my two main guys that I would have been always like, as a kid. I can remember, actually, our dad brought, I think it was myself, David, and I think Gregory might have been there. We went to there was an old cinema hall in Fermoy. Not the one that's there now. This is an actual built for purpose cinema hall. We were fucking tiny. I think we were up in the balcony. And it was, what was his name? Reeves? Is that the guy? Christopher Reeves? Is that the first, blockbuster Superman? We went and saw that in the cinema and it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. It kind of leaves a mark on you when you're that young. So, here we go. There he is. But this new one, after watching, is it Christopher Nolan's? He came up with the idea, and what's the guy who did the fucking thing? Did he do 300? Man of Steel, anyway, was his, with the English lad playing Superman. I thought they were brilliant, the Man of Steel ones. And just such a different take, a serious kind of take. Now looking at these fucking things, it looks more like bubblegum comic book kind of thing. Which is what it is, I suppose. But the other one, I don't know. I really liked the other one. This one, I'm watching trailers out of protest nearly, but the curiosity gets the better of me. I'm like, okay, I'll watch this, and I'm like, he's got a fucking dog in it. I'm like, oh, this is going to be so bad. I've just the feeling it's going to be really bad, and the suit is kind of shit. I don't know. I'd like to be proven wrong. I'm wishing them well, and I hope it's good, because anything from everyday reality, anything that'll just get you out of it, I like. Because I started painting this week. I'm not going to show you anything. Don't worry about it yet. But I don't know if I mentioned this before. I probably did, because I do things that when you look at them, even though there's a strong abstract vibe of them, you can still say, well, that's this. That kind of way. You can relate to it fairly easily. Like, that's definitely a horse, that's definitely a woman, that's definitely a bird, and so on and so forth. But because I've been stuttering with the last fucking forever, I decided came in earlier in the week, and I had a canvas set up, and all I had in my head was just fucking paint. So I got two. What did I do? I think I just got a white and maybe a Payne's grey or something, like a black and white, but make it grey-ish. And just did all this just try to cover it up with it. Paint as if you're painting a normal painting, not like you're painting a fucking door. And just get fucking angry with it, and you've a lot of archy movements and fucking like you're hatchboxing it, and then just fucking walk away. Then Usually the trick with that is you finish it when you think when it feels finished, and then you photograph it. You take a few photos with your phone and you walk out and leave it alone. The whole idea with the photos on the phone is you get because it's such a tight space for painting, you kind of want about 10 feet between you when you're looking at the work in progress. And the phone gives you that in a weird kind of way. It gives you that perspective. And then you crop the shit out of it and you're like that. So it's counterproductive. So you'll be looking at it with a coffee that evening. And then you're just looking at it. You're not thinking anything. And then something will catch your eye. And your imagination then will say, maybe it's... So you're like decoding a thing. And then you look for, you're following the dots. And then you start seeing, hopefully, usually, that would be the thing. You'd start seeing a thing and you bring it out. I saw a thing and then I saw another thing. And then I fucked it up. I fucked it up with the colours. I shouldn't have gone with the colours. I was going to go with washes. But I went heavy-handed, and it's not that it's fucked up. It's just not what I initially thought it would be. And now I'm like, instead of having a tantrum, I'm thinking, okay, let's review. So I've taken more photos, and I'm currently looking at those photos. And I've promised I can squeeze a half an hour in evening for the week, and that's what I will probably do. And then it's like, just work it and see what happens. Because the whole half hour thing is like, you can't be thinking too much. You just got to fucking work it. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be the start of some momentum. Momentum is very important. But the whole idea there is like, I've heard it with singers before. When they'd say they'd be getting up at like 4 a.m. They always had a book by their bed. And they'd write down lyrics or something, and they're asked in, well, like for example, Michael Jackson was asked why did he write this particular song, or the bones of a song at stupid o'clock in the morning, and he goes, well, if I didn't get out of bed, out of the comfort zone, and get my book, turn on the light, and write down what just came to me, I'd be thinking that Prince would probably get it if I don't do it. And then I heard Neil Young say something similar. So there seems to be this belief that it's already there. And like, it goes back to me thinking that we're like, people are like antennas. And you can receive and project. And it's always in the dream state for some reason. Or, when you're nearly there, on the cusp. Where you can still get out of the dream and write it down. I remember I used to do this before. I'd write it on a fucking wall. The wall alongside the bed. Didn't go down well with a bunch of people, but it was done and it was kind of cool. But sometimes you'd be looking at it and you're like, what the fuck? Like this picture. When I saw it, it was like, sometimes you'll see things and they'll creep you out, and some things are just fucking strange. So for whatever reason you decide, you edit it. You say, I can't. People think I'm a fucking psycho serial killer kind of mind if I paint that. But I should have painted it. And I'm going to be painting them from now on. I think the whole lack of painting properly and productively for the last, going on 2 years, is because I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't doing as I was told. I know this implies a third party somewhere. And it's kind of crazy. But for me, I think people are fucking crazy. Going around trying to achieve their idea of normal. They just want to be normal. Normal? You're a monkey wearing a fucking pair of clothes, behaving in a particular fashion, dictated by a minority group. That's your normal? That's crazy, okay? That is fucking crazy. Oh, this is very cold. And very refreshing. Yummy. You kind of got to floor them, don't you? Maybe 2 sups and you're done. So it's like the old saying, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything is just rehashed and regurgitated. And it's just your fresh eyes, your fresh perspective. you can find your story in an old story and just retell it with your current language, that kind of thing. And I think that is what it is, and that's probably why the human race has gone insane, because they're just being rehashed. There's nothing original, really. Nothing fucking new. It's like I was watching an interview with Quentin Tarantino, and he was saying that he had a movie, or was it there was this Japanese movie that he really loved? I think it might have been a samurai movie. And then the director of that movie did another movie. I think it was like a gangster movie or cop, good cop, bad cop kind of thing or whatever. But there's one scene in that whole movie, and it's pretty epic. And Quentin Tarantino decided to take that scene and just make a whole movie about that scene. And that movie was Reservoir Dogs. So make it out what you will. It's like you don't create original works of art. You take from other, we'll say, works of art that you are inspired by, I suppose, or that affect you, that touch you, and you think, oh, he should have done this or he should have done that. So you take it and you put it in your, whatever, your timeline that you want it in and your style, but the bones of the story is the same, and some of the physical actions of the characters can be the same. Maybe they're just wearing different clothes or the context is slightly different. But the imagery is pretty much there because there's something iconic about the movements in the scene. And it can be said, it's like when he said he couldn't have like the studio get some guy to make a score for the movie. So he picked movie or songs that he wanted for whatever reason. It gave him more ownership. Because again, as you're creating it or watching the original, all these things are in your head and you're thinking, yeah, they should have made this with this music, or this singer has a song and it would have been awesome with this scene or whatever, you know what I mean? But when it comes to the painting, so basically what I'm saying is, or what I'm thinking is, the act of you just striking the canvas and blending two colours and just doing a mad mishmash, no fucking just squirrels and fucking, not squirrels, you know what I mean, squirrely lines, arcs and X's and fucking movement and energy. And if you sit down and just focus on that and just turn the fucking every other way until you see something and you say, yes, I see it, what is it? And then you get a real good look and it's some goblin fucking thing and it looks really weird and funky. And it can be very simple. The painting itself can be very simple. It's just the way you give it light and shade, tone, the way you tone it up. And maybe a few little details here and there added to the very simple initial boom boom. Because all you're doing is you're fine-tuning the vision that you see, that you assume you put there, but you didn't put. Well, maybe you did. You're just the instrument of something other, is what I'm saying. So it's like you're... Oh, fuck, I'm digging a hole here. I don't know where it's going. It's like you're a conduit. That's it. You're a conduit. And then it's kind of... Because you know if you come up with a brilliant idea off of that, like we'd say the movie maker would, you know you're going to fuck it up. Because I think what you have to do is you got to put in your time. You got to do maybe 10 of these paintings through to that initial, what you see, recognition. And if you bring that out as honestly as you can without saying, oh, it'd be better if I do this. Don't do that. You fuck it up. And then it'll just... It's sand in your hand. That's all it is. Sand in your hand. So that's what I was doing with that one. And I'm looking forward to working on it for the week. It's a little experiment to kind of help me save my fucking sanity. Do you know what I mean? Because I was working on a separate note, but at the same time a creative kind of note. I was called to look at this this lovely couple's. They have like a house, then they have the big lawn. Then there's like an old ditch wall. I had stone in it. Really old, out in the country kind of thing. And it was after collapsing in the middle because the goddamn rabbits keep burrowing through it. And they just made the holes bigger and everything just collapsed in on itself and then out, and the shape is all wonky. Excuse them. And again, but it has a particular charm to it, that country road charm. But anyway, they weren't happy with it. They wanted something done, and so I show up. We talk about it. I was under the impression we were doing the section that was collapsed, and there wasn't really enough stone there. We thought there'd be loads of stone there, the original stone. It was gone. So there was a local quarry here. They don't do building stone anymore, which is sad because they've got some beautiful stone, it turns out. To do mainly road stone and whatnot. But this couple know the people who own the quarry. So they got on the phone, yada yada yada, need some stone, just ditch wall, no cement or nothing. To bring on a load of stone. I'm looking at the stone, I'm thinking, fuck, this stone is gorgeous. There's some beautiful stone here. So I start taking away what was done, we'll say, out of the cobbles and whatnot. And I dig into the ditch to get it relatively straight. There's still a bit of a bow in it over the hole, because they ended up doing the whole thing, and it's fairly a substantial length. So I dug into it, maybe, I don't know, a foot. And I had put a big tarp out, and all the earth that came out went on the tarp. And I started set up my line, and I started laying this stone. But I did it in a way where you pack the back of it with earth. And it was like you put in a fat one, as in it goes back a bit, and then you put in one maybe half of its width. And then you make that, you pack it, and then you put one that'll overlap it again. So it gives you that stability. And I don't mind telling you, it looks fucking cool. It looks so cool. But it's like again with the painting, you be thinking I'll get this much done today, and I'll just fucking tear into it. But you can't really tear into it. It's not block work or brickwork. As with the painting isn't, I don't know what I'd be thinking. It's not painting by numbers, you know what I mean? You have to take your time. You get into this kind of flow with it, and you're like, every little detail you're drawn into, and you want to solve every little detail. So it's like all day you're only looking at half a metre squared of stone, and you're getting that perfect, and you're moving on, and at the end of the day, and you look, and it's like, oh, it's a nice surprise. You get a nice bit done in a day, like. But as you're climbing to the line, we'll say that the top line, it gets a bit squirrely then, because you want to have, it's like you want it to make sense. You don't want to just fucking throw it up, you know what I mean? It has to be, it has to fit, it has to work, it has to look a certain way. Now it's on a bit of a slope. I didn't bother putting them down level. I said I'd follow the road, follow the lay of the land. It'd look better, it'd look more natural or something, you know. It'd fit in more with the whole ditch wall thing. And plus, when you get to the top, you're not cutting the shit out of a shitload of stone. That does not take kindly to hammers or saws, I might add. This stone is, as beautiful as it is, a temperamental stone. I had a whole bunch of hammers there, and I just knew straight away that I have this hammer. I actually don't even know where I got it from. It's fairly old, but it's so light. It's mainly I'd call it a snapping hammer. It's mainly to do with your wrist, and the density of the head of the hammer is perfect for this stone, because if I use we'll say any standard, we'll say lump hammer, no way. These fucking guys it'll just crack all kinds of ways like glass. Whereas with this little guy, it looks like something you'd see in when they're making shoes and shit, when they're tacking in the little tacks. This little hammer, it looks like one of them, but it's the best fucking hammer for this stone, because you don't have to beat the shit out of it. You just have to whip it with the hammer, and it looks, you get what you want. You don't want to overdress it. You can't, because it'll just crack on you. But this little hammer. So it's been a very creative week with the painting, with that kind of building of the wall. So anyway, you can't look at it, even with all your experience, and say, well, that'll be there by this time. No. No, you can hope. you can strive to try, but that's not going to make it so. So it's weird when those three different things, shooting the arrows, painting the paintings, especially the way I've mentioned, and then doing the stonework. This old way of doing the stonework, no cement, just pure dry, and up against the ditch, I might add. They're all very similar in how you approach them. If you're awake enough to yourself to say, just be in it and let it happen, and just be an instrument as opposed to a master of the thing, and just flow with it, and it usually works out super. So there you go. Magic is still there. There's a lot of things in life that if you approach with intellect, you're doomed. I mean, intellect has its place. Intellect academically, logic, all of this, reason, rational approach, all has its place within its place. But I think the human being can feel more, and in doing so, do more, while the academic side is just left trying to explain it, because they got so down the rabbit hole of the books. They became bookworms, and they forgot that they themselves possess the ability to do things that they can't explain. And there's no need to explain, you just do. Some people say, oh, they're talented, or la 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 la. No, it's not. It's just they're in the zone. Speaking of in the zone, I see Oasis were back at it last night. Was it last night? Oasis, the comeback tour. Is that just a one-off tour? I don't know. I like Oasis, I must admit. I didn't like them when they were in their heyday for whatever reason. But I like him more so Liam. I have a few of his albums now. Liam's a fucking gas man. He's a joy to listen to. He talks some nonsense, but his attitude is very good. I like it. Whereas Noel seems very pretentious and up his own arse. Sorry, Noel, but you do. Bit of a cunt. Nah, I just said it. But no, their music I like, but I prefer Liam's. It's the way it is. So I was just about to relax, and then I realised that I'm on fucking day 5 of the fucking podcast on YouTube, and I should have had something organised and done. But I was getting my last practice in so I could put the bow away and make sure everything is everything for tomorrow. And I forgot all about everything. I had plans. I was working on topics and stuff, but I'm not finished. So I didn't do them. So there you go. So I said I'll have a glass of this black stuff, and once it's finished, the pod will be finished. And I don't know. Look, I thought I'd just bring this hat trick of things that was my week together and see what you think. Maybe you have similar situations where you have things where it's like, why is it not working? We can be guilty of trying too hard because we try to rationalize it to ourselves, or fucking, come up with some logical fucking blah blah blah. And most of the time it's just, that's why I keep saying just do it. Like, I was tired, didn't want to do shit. And I was like, yeah, but it's day 5 and you're in Limerick tomorrow, you'll be baked by the time you get home. So you don't know how that's gonna go, but you're here today, so fucking do it. Just do it. So I got me a can and I came in here, and here we are. It's done. And I'm happy it's done. And I'll be happier when I have it, published. Long way around nothing. That's the last drop. That was nice. That was a health injection. For your health. One every couple of days is no harm. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have some chit chat with some folks there, because they have the is it the Munster 100 coming up in August between Limerick. I think Limerick's the second day, and the first day is Blackcastle Archers. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think next weekend or the weekend after, the Red Fox Archers. Son of a bitch. Excuse me. I apologize profusely. My crackers. I'm a fucking pig today. I've been eating a lot of fruit and stuff this week. I'm like a fucking bear. It doesn't agree with me. I'm like, ugh. But anyway, listen, crackers. I'm gonna leave you now. Okay. I hope to have some stuff on Limerick tomorrow. I'm working on stuff for a podcast, and I'm just looking to getting some more guests in. I meant to do it, but fuck it, you know what I mean? You'd be just what happens, folks. And thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye now. Bye. Go on, get out of here.